Today's topic, we're going to go over charity and leaven. Charity and leaven. But before we get into that, we're going to open up with Romans chapter 3.
Romans 3, verse 1.
Well, before we get that, go to Deuteronomy 16 and 1. I want that first. But remind me, Romans 3. I didn't write it down, so just remind me. Read that for me, Isaac.
Deuteronomy 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night.
Can we look up the word Abib? Let's look up the word Abib, please. Who has a dictionary? What's the better dictionary to use for that? No. See, I'm listening to you today.
Yes.
Zondervan.
This is page 13 out of the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary.
All right.
Abib, an ear of corn.
So Abib means ear of corn. It's a Hebrew word that means ear of corn. Ear of corn comes in what season? Mario.
That comes in the springtime.
Right, spring. So the translation is referring to spring. So the month of Abib is the first spring month. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. From there, let's go to Exodus chapter 12. Exodus 12. You got that, Isaac?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Exodus 12, verse 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
So he's referring to the month wherein Passover comes. Passover comes in what month? Y'all forgot already? Abib. Thank you. Abib. Exodus 12 is referring to the same thing. Read it again.
This month shall be unto you the beginning of months.
So the first month, according to God, is the spring month. Okay? Can we go back to the Bible dictionary real quick? I think it tells you.
Calendar.
Look on the calendar. We looking on the calendar? Mm-hmm. Look on the calendar for Abib. It lets you know when it generally falls, when it comes.
Oh, Abib. It says Abib. It says after. Yeah. It says after the exile, the name was changed to Nisan. It fell about the time of our March in early April.
That's what I wanted. Read it again, please, for the officers.
It fell about the time of our March in early April.
So the month of Abib falls between March and April. Not February. Any Israelite telling you that Passover is February is insane. Some of y'all follow some of them cuckoo groups out there on YouTube. February. What the hell is this? Now, let's go back to Exodus 12.
Exodus 12, verse 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months.
So, is something wrong with his mic? I can barely hear him. Read it again.
This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
So I know that America has taught many of us, that January is the beginning of the year. But that is not what God says. The Most High God says that this month of Abib, this spring month, shall be the beginning of the year to you. All right, so the new moon that fell during this month is when the beginning of the year started. When was the last new moon for March? 11th. It was the 11th? Right, the evening of the 11th. So that was the beginning of God's new year.
It's right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is calendar.
Tell them where you're reading from.
This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. This is under calendar. It says synchronized Jewish sacred calendar. Month 1, Nisan, as Officer Leon mentioned. Nisan, which falls between March and April. So saying it again. Month 2, April, May. Month 3, May, June, and so on and so forth. So the first month is between April and May, depending on the new moon. March, April.
Give him the 50 mic, because I got to comment this.
That's it.
All right, so does everybody understand what we're reading so far? Who's lost? I know some of us are still in the American mindset, but this is a part of being born again. When Christ said, "Ye must needs be born again," this was a part of it. You else would be saying that the dead of winter is the beginning of the year at midnight, and that's not so. All right, back to Exodus 12. Again, verse 2 again.
Exodus 12, verse 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
Okay, from there, let's go to Romans chapter 3. So the month of Abib falls around March, April. Falls between March and April. I hope y'all wrote that down. It's the beginning of the year to you. That's what the Most High God says.
Romans chapter 3, verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision?
So what advantage then has the Jew? And what profit is there of circumcision? The covenant that the Most High made with Israel to be his people. Go ahead.
Much every way.
So there's an advantage. In order to have an advantage, that means there's someone you have an advantage over. Meaning there are nations you have an advantage over. I know that's not taught in America. That's a strange thing. Because you all come from the mindset that we're all equal. That is not what the Bible says. The Bible says you have an advantage over everyone else. Go ahead.
Chiefly,
Mainly,
because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
because that committed unto us was the oracles of God, meaning the Bible. The Bible was not given to all nations. I know your pastor said that the Bible was for all nations, but the Bible says, God says, the Bible was only given to the Israelites. Give that to your pastor. Give that to El Papa. Is that his name? The new Pope Francis. And by the way, he is not Latino. I just gotta say that. On my job, they was clapping. All the El Salvadorians were clapping. All Latinos. He's not Latino. He's the devil. The Bible speaks of. He wanted to stone me. Sucio negro.
Yeah, Brother Nathanyel, can I
Yeah.
back in verse 2 again? Read verse 2.
Romans 3, verse 2. Much every way, chiefly, because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
Okay, let's say unto the Jew was given the oracle of God. What is let's put it in a form where we can understand. What is the oracle of God? Yeah, stand up, anybody.
The word of God.
Yeah,
1 Peter 4:11.
yeah, make it in one word. God's laws was given to the Israelite, right?
Yes,
If
sir.
God's laws, who created the whole universe, was given to the Israelite, so why God said what advantage? That means you was made judge to judge the whole earth. That's make you different than the other nation. You was making judge because God give you His laws. If that's His world, so He give you His laws. So what He's telling you, you're supposed to judge all nations. They make you different than all nations. We're not equal. We're not friends. We're not classmates. We're not nothing. You understand? There was made nothing. We was given the oracle of God, laws of God to govern the world.
Exactly. Verse 3, Isaac.
Verse 3. For what if some did not believe?
Some of you in here might not believe. Some of you online might not believe in anything this Bible says. And some of you cherry pick. You know, you got some that believe, some that don't. Then you got the cherry pickers. I accept this part, and this part, but not that, and that. Read it again.
For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid.
So because you don't believe certain things in this Bible, does that mean a hill of beans to the Most High? Is that going to change any prophecy the Bible says? Because you don't believe. Who gives a damn about you?
Let Aitan read for a few minutes. I gotta.
All right, Aitan, you read. You got to fix that mic over here. Read Romans 3 and 3 again.
Romans 3 verse 3. What if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
Now, let's go to 2nd Esdras in the Apocrypha.
2nd Ezra 16 verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria.
These are prophecies for the last days for these nations, guys.
Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry. Your destruction is at hand.
The Most High ain't done with these nations. These are the same nations the Most High destroyed before that came back. Go ahead.
A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it?
Here it come.
Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?
So the Bible prophesies that God would send plagues upon these nations. Get a lie. Can we go to the news article number 1, please?
March 3rd, 2013. If we hadn't already seen enough biblical events this year, a plague of over 30 million locusts swarmed over Egypt's cities and farms.
Now I want y'all to take notice. Notice it says 30 million locusts. I want y'all to remember that. 30 million. It's going to play a part later on. Go ahead.
Over Egypt's cities and farms just 3 weeks before Passover begins.
So now, some of you don't believe in the Most High. Some of you got your doubts. Oh, that was them plagues. Now he sent locusts. He said, I'm going to strengthen my servant's faith. So when y'all see things like that, this is meant to strengthen your faith. That what we're reading in the Bible is true and accurate, not doubt. Go ahead.
But put your apocalyptic fears to rest. This happens every year as part of the locust's natural migration pattern.
Now that ain't true. Every year, 30 million locusts do not hit Egypt. That's Esau's cunning media to dumb us down. Damage control.
Though this year's swarm is especially large.
See that? This year's swarm is especially large. Go ahead.
That doesn't mean Egyptians aren't freaked the heck out by the millions of nasty bugs buzzing through the air at all hours of the day and night, possibly descending upon the agricultural fields where they're known to destroy entire crops, just like the actual Passover story.
Now, pause there. Let's go to the next. Go to the next one. Okay, go. Okay, notice at the bottom of that. Shem, read that also. Go ahead.
Conflicting reports aside, Moen insists that the government has everything under control.
Now, I thought this happens every year. Why they gotta go to the government and ask them, do they have everything under control? Go ahead.
Egyptian armed forces and the border guards are attempting to fight the swarm with the means at their disposal.
I thought they go through this every year. You see how they be lying? They trap themselves up? Go ahead.
The agricultural minister said, I asked the families living in the locust plague areas not to burn tires. This does not chase away the locusts, but only causes damage and could ignite large-scale fires that would cost in lives. Also, that smoke isn't doing Egypt's grandchildren any favors. Scientists anticipate that as global warming worsens, plagues like this will also get worse.
So plagues like this will also get worse. So I thought this happens every year. Lie. Okay, now below is a video. Y'all can look at that on YouTube. Now go to the page 3. This is another article. Read the top.
Locust swarm of biblical proportions strikes Egypt, Israel before Passover.
So the swarm of locusts hit Egypt. Now they're going over to Israel. Because guess what? The people in Israel ain't the biblical Jews. They are, let me say it again in case I stuttered. They are not the biblical Jews.
Right.
Can we read the story now? Go ahead.
3 weeks before Passover, a plague of locusts is swarming from Egypt to Israel, sparking fears among farmers in the region.
But I thought they go through this every year. Lie. Go ahead.
The timing of insect invasion is eerie because the Bible's book of Exodus tells of 10 plagues that hit Egypt before Moses and the Jews were allowed to leave for the promised land. A plague of locusts was eighth on the list, but Pharaoh didn't relent until the 10th plague, which killed off all the Egypt's firstborn sons. Every year at Passover, Jews commemorate how they were spared.
Now, from there, let's go to page 4. This is the next part of that same article right here.
They came from the Sudan-Egypt border after breeding in December and January, flew north along the coast to nearly Suez, then got caught in some winds associated with low pressure system over the central Mediterranean to Cairo. Cressman told NBC News in an email. The weather system moved eastward, and on Monday, changing winds carried the swarm of the northern Sinai Peninsula in Israel's Negev desert, he said.
Now watch this next paragraph. Go ahead.
A spokeswoman for Israel's agricultural ministry, Daphne Urista, told the Associated Press that planes have gone out to spray pesticides on agricultural fields to head off damage by a relatively small swarm of 2,000 locusts.
Stop. They said 2,000. What's the problem with that? What did the first article say? 30 million. You see, all that is to dumb down Negroes and Latinos. Oh, they simple. They'll never know. They won't figure it out. Go ahead.
Authorities called upon residents to be vigilant in reporting locust sightings.
Okay, now that was that. Let's go back now. Thank you, Shem. Let's go back now to 2nd Ezra 16. Yeah.
How can they count them?
I can't hear you.
How can they count them to say that there's 22,000?
Exactly. 2nd Ezra 16. I want to jump down just to verse 20, please.
2nd Ezra 16, verse 20.
Pay attention.
But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
Meaning the nations that the Most High plagues. They will not be mindful of their wickedness, nor of the scourges that God would constantly send upon them. Okay? From there, let's go to Luke 22:1. Luke 22:1. So, what if some do not believe? To hell with you. The Most High ain't gonna lose no sleep because you don't believe. You die, doubt. We went from the Bible to a news article and some of you still doubt. Most High ain't gonna shed a tear over you. Neither are we.
Luke 22, verse 1. Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the Passover.
So, the Feast of Unleavened Bread is also called what? The Passover. Now, Exodus 13:3. Let's go there.
Exodus 13, verse 3. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt.
Wait, what month was this? Uriel, what month was this?
The month of Abib.
The month of Abib. When does it fall, Uriel? When does it come?
Between March and April.
Between March and April. What season is that?
Springtime.
Okay. Now you can have a seat, brother. You're like a yo-yo over there. Read that again, I thought.
And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten.
So now, read again. Read the next verse,
This day came ye out in the month of Abib.
Now read the bottom of verse 3.
The Lord brought
There.
Oh, there shall no leavened bread be eaten.
What does that mean? There shall no leavened bread be eaten. Corey. What do you say?
Azrael.
Azrael, thank you.
Speak.
That means
Go ahead, just speak.
that means anything you have in your house with yeast in it, you're supposed to throw it away.
Very good. When we left out of Egypt, we didn't have no leaven. No leavened bread was eaten. Because in order to make the bread rise, you got to put, what is it called you put in there? Yeast.
Baking powder.
Sometimes they call it what?
Baking powder.
Baking powder to make that bread rise. From there, let's go to Exodus 12:15. Bear with me, I'm hesitating in my speech. A little under the weather, getting over it. Exodus 12:15, we're going to read down to 19. Start at 15.
Exodus 12, verse 15. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread.
Stop. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Go ahead.
Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day unto the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel.
Who does not understand that law right there? Now I know some of y'all want to cherry pick right now. Cherry pick because you know what? I spent all this money on these cakes, on these foods that got yeast in it. You telling me I got to get rid of that? Can we read the verse again? I ain't telling you nothing. But let's see what God is saying.
Verse 15. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day unto the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel.
So Mike, Mike right there. What do I mean? Mike.
It means that anybody that eats leaven within that week of Passover shall be cut off from the nation.
All right. And the Most High is serious about his laws. So Mike, what if we got leaven in our house?
Throw it
I
out.
got some Oreo cookies with leaven and I just bought them. What should I do?
Throw it out.
I got some ice cream and it says on there like they got ice cream with Oreo, any of you ever had that? Cookies and green. You read the ingredients, it says yeast. What should I do?
The Lord says to throw it out.
So, should I throw it out right now, today?
No.
What should I do?
You should wait till it begins.
Okay, very good. So now, from this point on, if we have it, you should go through all the stuff in your house and start putting everything with yeast off to the side and start to eat it day by day until you come closer to the day. Now, if you got stuff left over by that day, what should we do? Throw it out. That's what God says. That's what he says. Now, I know some of y'all, a lot of us in here got kids. Check your cars. Kids have cookies all under the seats. Check your toaster. Some of y'all forget to empty out that toaster. Got breadcrumbs all in there. Throw that stuff out. Most likes to get all the yeast out. And there's a reason behind it. There's a reason behind it. Let's read down, Isaac.
Verse 16. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation.
Now, convocation means what, Isaac?
It means a holy gathering. Assembly.
Holy gathering, assembly, right?
And in the seventh day there shall be an holy convocation to you.
So the seventh day also is a holy gathering. The first day and the seventh day, a holy gathering, right?
No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you.
So the only thing you can do is what pertains to you cooking for the Passover. No work though, right?
And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. For in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall you observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever.
For how long?
Forever.
How long?
Forever.
So we can't cherry pick this thing. It says forever. Go ahead.
In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land.
So that goes for your kids too. Oh, but little Johnny likes cookies. To hell with little Johnny. Get the cookie out. He ain't gonna die. Give him some fruits and vegetables. How about that? His teeth rotting out his head anyway. Give him something healthy for 7 days. Think of it like a healthy diet for a week.
Yeah,
From there.
Brother Nathanyel, his other congregation teach that you can do that. They're saying that this Lord is not valid right now under Christ, showing you that they got other brothers who don't believe what Christ trying to establish upon this earth is his laws, statutes, and commandments.
There you go. Now what? Let's see about that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 5. Let's see now. First, the book of Corinthians. Yes, Joel, you had your hand up.
The same for the brothers that live at home with somebody, the parents or a roommate.
Oh,
be
yes.
careful.
Right, you're absolutely right. Listen, if you didn't buy that stuff and it ain't your house, don't touch it. You might find yourself thrown out. Thank you, Joel. 1 Corinthians 5:1. Now, the book of Corinthians was it written before Christ died and resurrected or after? When?
Book of what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Corinthians.
It was after Christ died.
After Christ died and resurrected. That's very important in understanding. Because there's a dumb doctrine. Our people follow these doctrines from the white man that says these laws don't pertain to us in Christ. The Passover, for example. But you'll celebrate Easter. Remind me to mention women with them big hats on Easter. Don't let me forget that. 1 Corinthians 5:1.
1 Corinthians 5 verse 1. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as is not so much as named among the Gentiles.
Uriah, what is fornication? What is fornication?
Sex waiting marriage, I guess.
I didn't understand that you said.
Sex outside of marriage.
Sex outside of marriage. I don't like that answer. Now give me another one right here. What's his name? Jalil.
Any form of sexual sin?
Any form of sexual sin. Okay, I'll go with that a little better. Wait, keep standing. Where can we read about fornication at in the Bible? If I wanted a list of sexual sins, where would I go to read about it?
Leviticus 18.
Leviticus 18, very good. That gives you all the various forms of fornication. Very good. Isaac, what verse you at?
Verse 5 of 1 Corinthians 5, verse 1. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as is not so much as named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife.
So like Jaleel said, Leviticus 18 gives you the whole list. Leviticus 18 verse 3 tells you about not having sex with your stepmother. It's a sin. Come on.
And ye are puffed up, and have not rather mourned, that he that hath done this deed might be taken away from among you. For I verily, as absent in body, but present in spirit, have judged already, as though I were present, concerning him that hath so done this deed.
So the discussion is the brother that has sex with his stepmother. Go ahead.
In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, when ye are gathered together in my spirit, with the power of our Lord Jesus Christ, to deliver such an one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Lord Jesus.
Let's examine that verse. To deliver such an one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh. What does it mean, destruction of the flesh? Nobody has a clue. Hananiah.
Destruction of the flesh is killing your body.
Right. Death, destruction, kill that Negro. That's what Paul is saying. He delivered him unto Satan that he might be put to death under Satan. That's what he was saying. I know, oh no, not my Paul, not Paul. He's so Christ-like. Yeah, that is Christ-like. Sometimes a brother do something so wicked, he got to go. Let Satan deal with him. Read it again, Isaac.
To deliver such an one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Lord Jesus.
Now, what does it mean that the spirit may be saved? Does that mean he's the devil, he gets put to death, and now his spirit is saved? Is that what that means?
The spirit is talking about is the spirit of the church, because if that brother remains, he can corrupt everyone.
Thank you. It's talking about the spirit of the church. And as we read down, Paul is going to explain that's exactly what he means. Go ahead. Verse 6.
Verse 6. Your glorying is not good. Know you not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump?
Now you gotta know a little something about baking. Baking. A little leaven. Leaven is another word for what? Okay, yes, I want the literal meaning. A little yeast leaveneth. Who can explain it? Who can explain that? In modern terms. You're in the kitchen, Abiel. Stand up. Abiel, stand up. You're in the kitchen. Explain to me what's going on. A little leaven. Leaveneth the whole lump. You're on.
You take yeast, you put it in dough, put water, you let it sit. An hour later, it rises.
Very good. Everybody understand the analogy? So now Paul is not literally talking about yeast, leaven. What is he talking about? Sin. Read it again, Isaac.
Verse 6. Your glorying is not good. Know you not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump?
Go ahead.
Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened.
Stop. Read again, verse 7 again.
Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump.
Stop. Purge out therefore the old leaven. What is he talking about? What is Paul talking about?
Paul's talking about getting rid of the sin out of your life. That's what he's talking about. And becoming a new man, meaning what? That you're righteous now, you're keeping the laws of God. So you get rid of all the sin that's in your life and also in the body.
Okay. Zakai, you keep standing. Now, because I know you know this. Thank you, whoever gave me this little piece of candy. I sure do need it. Zakai. Now, I want you to keep in mind from verse 1 what has happened in the church of Corinth.
Right.
So when he says, purge out therefore the old leaven, is he talking about some individual, just take the sin out of yourself? Is he?
No. He's
okay,
talking about. Yeah, he's talking about those ones that were committing that.
Those ones.
That man that committed that sin, that committed that fornication with his father's wife. Get rid of that man.
Thank you.
Right.
That's what he's talking about. Read it again, Isaac, please.
Verse 7. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened.
Okay. So now, Paul is Mike. What is he saying?
That Christ is our Passover.
Before that.
Purge out the old leaven?
I want that.
Oh, get rid of that individual that was committing that sin.
Get rid of that individual that was committing that sin. Why, Mike? Why?
Because his sin will increase amongst the congregation.
What do you mean by that?
meaning if you let one person get away with sin, then other brothers are going to catch that spirit and increase.
You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Jalil. Is what he said right? Give me an example.
If you and a brother,
let's use the same example. A brother had sex with his stepmother. Use the same example.
if he doesn't get correction in another brother, he's gonna think that, oh, it's okay to do that, so he goes ahead and do that, and then it's like a domino effect. Everybody else starts doing it.
Exactly. You let one brother get away with that sin, it's going to leaven the whole lump. The sin's going to rise. You're going to have one brother having sex with his sister-in-law. Next one may be homosexuality. You never know. Might be a crackhead up in there. You ain't judged these. How you going to judge me now? That's what Paul's saying. Read that verse again, Isaac.
Verse 7. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened.
So now stop. Where is Paul getting this from? Because Paul didn't just make stuff up. Where is he getting it from? I want a new hand. Ezekiel.
He's getting that from Exodus. When the Most High told Israel not to bring any leaven with him. That's all I got.
Well, explain. How about that?
Yeah, when we left Egypt, the Most High said, don't bring any leaven with you. So, meaning don't bring any of the old sin or the old leaven to the new land. So that's what Paul was referencing.
Okay, very good. So you see how deep Brother Paul was? Paul went in the spirit about Exodus. The leaven out of your house, Paul said, listen, the way we got leaven out of the house, you got to get it out of the body. Out of you got to get it out. All that was symbolic. But that doesn't mean you don't do it. He was giving you the deeper meaning behind it. Read it again, Isaac.
Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Christ our Passover sacrificed for us.
Now Paul goes to another level. He's letting us know what about that last precept. Let me see, Mike.
That the lamb in the Old Testament was symbolic of Christ.
Right. That Passover lamb in Exodus was symbolic of Jesus Christ. Him dying on the cross. Go ahead, Isaac.
Therefore, let us keep the feast.
Stop. Now, who said don't keep the feast? Who said we can't keep it? Paul said what?
Therefore, let us keep the feast.
Who wants to cherry pick and say no? We can't keep it because we're not in Jerusalem. Where was the church? It's going to tell you right there. Where's the church of Corinth at? Leon.
It's in Greece.
It's in Greece. Read it again, Isaac.
Therefore, let us keep the feast.
Now, did the Lord say keep it in Greece? No. So Paul said, therefore, let us keep the feast. No matter where you at, Israel, keep the feast. So if you let a Negro, a jive coon Negro, roll up on you, brother, sister, no, we can't keep these feasts.
Just eat bread and wine. That's it.
What?
No lamb. They say no lamb. Don't eat no lamb because Christ is the Passover. Just eat bread and drink wine. That's it. That's the doctrine.
Chicken too. Eat chicken and bread.
Eat chicken and biscuits.
So the Bible must be our guide map, not a Negro on the corner. Read again.
Therefore, let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness.
See, he's explaining, he's breaking down what that leaven was symbolic of. Malice and wickedness. Go ahead.
But with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
Go ahead.
I wrote unto you an epistle not to company with fornicators.
So he comes back and says, I wrote to you guys about the laws. Don't company with fornicators. From there, let's go to Genesis 3:15. We're going to give some examples of leaven. Some examples of leaven. Because leaven is not just fornication. Leaven is any kind of wickedness. We're going to get to the root of this thing here.
Genesis 3, verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman.
What does the word enmity mean, Isaac?
It means hatred, like separation,
hatred. Right, read again.
And I will put enmity between thee and the woman.
Now, he's talking to the serpent in the garden. The serpent in the garden was not a snake. The serpent in the garden was an angel of light. They looking at me like I'm strange. Yep. Can we get that in Corinthians? 2 Corinthians, I think it's 11. Give me that. Y'all just look, some of y'all looked at me like, what the hell? This a cult. Tell me what verse.
11 verse 14.
2 Corinthians.
Let's read verse 3 and 4 and then jump over there.
Yeah.
2 Corinthians 11 verse 3.
Because y'all gonna learn how deep Paul was. Go ahead.
But I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety.
So there's the word serpent. Uh-oh. See, you got stuck right there. Go ahead.
So your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ. For if he that cometh preacheth another Jesus, whom we have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit, which ye have not received, or another gospel, which ye have not accepted, ye might well bear with him.
Have our people as a whole accepted another Jesus that the Bible does not preach about? Yes. Yeah, we follow the white image of Christ. We got a new gospel of all nations, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's a new gospel. Go ahead. Was that it?
Yes, sir.
Jump over to 14.
Verse 14.
Listen good.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Go ahead.
Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed.
So Paul told you about Satan. He transformed into an angel of light. He did not come to Eve like a cobra. What did the Lord say? And Eve was talking to the snake. That didn't happen. He came in power. Satan came in power, looking like top-notch dude. Eve was like, wait, whoa, this guy looked like he got some wisdom here. That's what was going on. Let's go back now to Genesis 3:15.
What they say about the white man.
Right, that's what they say about the white man. This guy looked like he's smart. That's the serpent in the garden. He's that serpent in the garden.
Genesis 3 verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman.
So now, y'all think that woman right there is just talking about Eve. Is the woman only talking about Eve, or is it going beyond Eve? Mike, let's go back to you.
It's talking about Israel.
Why do you say that?
Because according to Jeremiah 6 and 2, Israel's like a delicate woman.
Can we read that? Isaac, Jeremiah 6 and 2. Here's a precept about the woman.
Jeremiah 6 verse 2. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman.
Y'all see that? That's how the Most High sees Israel. Let's go back to Genesis 3:15.
Genesis 3 verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed.
Between Satan's seed and the woman's seed. So I know right now y'all going Satan's seed. Satan didn't have no kids. Yes, he got some kids on earth. Go ahead.
It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. That's for another part, another time. Let's go to Genesis 4. Let's get to what happened between the seed of the woman and the seed of Satan, the serpent. Genesis 4 and 8.
Genesis 4 verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
Now that is the national anthem for blacks and Latinos today. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes. 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 I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but yes you are. Cain couldn't understand that thing. Read on.
And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground.
Come on.
And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
Read verse 12 again. I'm going to give you the meaning behind that verse.
When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee.
You ever want to know why the white man has seedless grapes and a lot of foods cloned in a laboratory? Read it again, Isaac.
When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength.
You're reading about it. You're reading about it. You're reading about it. Yes.
Also, they're saying that a lot of the nutrients and stuff, the soil's depleted. So that's prophetic right there, because the soil doesn't have the minerals and the vitamins and anything anymore because of this prophecy here.
Exactly. Yes.
There was something else I heard about what the white man was doing. On the show Doomsday Preppers, the crackers, they buy something called heirloom seeds. What these seeds are, whatever you grow from those seeds, that product also bears seeds as well. So that means whatever you buy in the supermarket, even though it has seeds, when you plant it, it's going to grow a genetically modified plant. You can't reproduce anything you buy. You have to buy an heirloom seed to get a seed-bearing plant.
Y'all see that? Wow. So now, get Isaiah. We're coming right back here. Get Isaiah, one of the famous scriptures, Isaiah 46 and is it 10? Y'all know what I want. For you Bible doubters, I doubt that.
Isaiah 46 and verse 10.
This is about the Bible. Go ahead.
Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done.
So the Bible declares what? Read it again, Isaac.
Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done.
Let's go back to Genesis 3 now. Genesis 4, I mean. Genesis 4. Declaring the end from the beginning. Declaring the end from the beginning. The word Genesis means what? Beginning. Beginning.
Genesis 4 verse 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength.
So now you know why the ground is depleted. That was a curse put on the seed of the serpent. Okay? That's why, I'll bring that up later. Go ahead.
A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
Stop. Read again.
A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
What's a fugitive? What is a fugitive? I want some new hands, so I know people got some kind of Levi. So I know some of y'all got a clue in here. Can't have coolest brothers rolling with me.
If somebody is running away from their homeland, they have nowhere to go. They're always running from place to place. They have
I want something better than that. He ain't said. Y'all stop. He said you ain't said nothing. You whistling Dixie over there. Haim.
Wait. Before we go there, Levi, take the microphone back for a second. You just woke me up with that one. So, what is a refugee?
A refugee is somebody who's taking refuge in another place, like come from if their home is destroyed, so they go to some other place to take refuge, to stay in the place.
So what you said a fugitive was?
A fugitive is somebody who's running away from some other place, like Esau.
Running away from what?
From destruction or from persecution, something like that.
No.
You ain't bringing it home, man. Don't you watch the news?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Go ahead.
Haim.
A fugitive is somebody that's running away from the law.
Why?
Because they have committed a crime.
Right. A fugitive is someone who's running away from the law. A criminal on the run. That's a fugitive. A Levi. That's a fugitive.
I wanted you to get that. I know it sounded kind of rough how I said it, but I want you to understand that there's a distinct, Levi, you listening? There's a distinct difference between what you were saying that it is and what it actually is. A fugitive is a man that's running from the law, running from justice.
Yeah. Right. What you was explaining, brother, is a refugee. Right. All right. That's what you was explaining, a refugee.
You was explaining when the Haitians came over here on that raft.
I understand that because the white man tried to say that the so-called Haitians were fugitives. They were trying to say that the so-called Haitians were fugitives, and you bought that thing.
So, Isaac, can you read that again?
Genesis 4, verse 12. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
Stop. What is a vagabond? A vagabond. Let me try Reuben.
A person that wanders place to place.
Okay. A bum. He ain't got his own homeland. He's a bum. Just everywhere. Read it again, Isaac.
A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
So now, y'all want to, this is what God said about, what is he talking about? Cain. A fugitive and a vagabond. Remember Genesis 3:15, I'll put enmity between thy seed and a woman's seed. The answers is right there. Now, you're asking yourself right now, what does this got to do with us today? I got a question. I'll start with the Dominicans. I'll start with y'all. They got a big statue of Cristobal Colon in the city of Santo Domingo. Would you consider Christopher Columbus a fugitive? You hear the hesitation?
Yes.
Do you hear the hesitation?
I heard. But they don't know. He might be looking at you. You're harboring terrorists.
How many Dominicans are in here? Raise your hand. Let me see the Dominicans. Uno, dos, tres.
Some of them hide. They're hiding.
Okay.
Move the chairs out the way because they're under the chairs.
Wait, you know, I don't think they're the only ones. I think the Puerto Ricans got that daggone statue over there too. Do y'all got that statue, PR?
Yeah, he's there.
Oh, okay.
He's in 8.
Okay.
There's a whole fort named after him.
Let's get this. All you Latinos, raise your hand. Let me see your hand right here. Okay. All right. Keep your hands up. Let me ask the new brothers. Them two new ones right there. Christopher Columbus. What's his history? Give him the mic. I want to hear about Christopher Columbus.
He discovered.
Wait, let him talk.
That was an audio glitch. We wanted to get.
Okay, you hear what he said?
I didn't hear him.
Say it again.
There was distortion. Well, hold it. The reason why we wanted it again because we don't want any distortion. We want all of the syllables to go into the recorder. Come on with it.
That's the history, so-called history, that Christopher Columbus discovered Puerto Rico.
See, okay, now we're talking.
Now, okay, there we go.
Now it's in there now.
Okay. Anything y'all want to add to his history? Historically?
Come on.
Okay.
Any teacher school, bring it out. Don't hide.
Anything else? Oh no. Wow. No. Okay. Let me hear the young man get alive right here. Get alive. You tell us about Christopher Columbus.
He want to put on the mic too. Come on with it.
Yeah, make sure it's live.
So he came on a mission to take over because he studied the scriptures and asked for permission for the European powers to come over here to take over these lands.
Who are the European powers?
He asked
get to the two main characters, please.
Spain and Italy.
Okay, in Spain, who were the two people?
I forgot the two people.
King, write this down, Ferdinand, and Queen Isabella. Okay, go ahead.
So when he came over here, he just started killing everyone.
Where'd he go first? Puerto Rico or Santo Domingo?
Santo Domingo.
Okay.
Then he hopped over to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Then he started coming back and forth to everybody from Europe and bringing.
What did he do?
He raped, massacred, and robbed all of our people.
Okay, he raped, robbed, and massacred all of the people. He sent y'all to Spain, forced Spanish on you, made you slaves of the Catholic Church, El Papa. You were slaves to the Catholic Church, spread that damn Catholic denounced foolishness throughout the world, gave you herpes, thank you. Smallpox, syphilis, and they got a holiday named after him. What are you curious about?
I want to know what they teach in school because I know doggone well, I'm going to say something else. I know doggone well that they did not teach that Christopher Columbus and his entourage came over there and raped, pillaged, and burned people. I know they didn't teach that. So I want to know, what did they teach?
The first brother
Get them
told
brothers. Nah, I need to hear. I didn't hear it all. They just say he just came there and was nice, but I need to. Come on, give him back the microphone just for a second. I need to, because y'all just can't ramble over that kind of stuff, because this poison is going out throughout in the schools now. So let's expound on it just for a second. What do they teach? Because the elder asked a question. They got a doggone statue over there. That statue's got to represent something too. When the Dominican kids look at it, it got to bring something to mind. You follow me?
Yeah, but
come on with it.
The school we here, they didn't really go into it that far.
Okay.
They just said that they discovered and that was it.
So they just left it at that?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Okay, I can dig that.
Okay.
All right. Well, you're going to get the facts here, brother.
Yes.
They teach that he discovered and he came and gave us clothes and he gave us knowledge and he taught us white Jesus and that he was real friendly and they took us back to Europe and we got culture over there and it was all love.
Can we show some, where's Bezalel? Can we show some pictures?
That's what I was thinking.
Can we see some photos of what the conquistadors did? I need some conquistadores photos while we're talking, just briefly. I know y'all asking right now, what does this got to do with Genesis 4 and 12? It has everything to do with it. Yes.
They also claimed that we were savages when they came here. That we were savages, we had no civilization, no cities, we were just living off a coconut, basically.
Exactly.
See? So that's why they brought you to Spain to civilize you and all that other stuff. That's what I'm thinking that they're teaching in the schools.
I want some photos now. I just want some brief photos.
Give the people some visuals.
Yeah, we want to give the people some visuals. So y'all know this is not a hate campaign. It's not about hate. This is about truth.
Here's one of them burning our feet.
Okay. Okay, do y'all see the Indio on the bottom getting his feet burned? Oh, can you point to the fire, Malachi?
I want them all to look
Point
at this.
to the fire.
Get an eyeball full of that.
This is what Columbus was doing. You say it again, what you were saying?
Oh, the gentleman on the floor. You can tell that he's a conquistador based on what he has on his head.
Okay. So, I want the new brothers. New brothers. I want y'all to pay attention. Because when we ask you again, you're going to be like, I'm confused. Do you see what Christopher Columbus was doing to the brother on the floor? Burning his feet with fire. Let's go to the next photo. Okay, that's another one of them burning their feet in the fire. Okay, I like this. Move that one over. I want to see that. Do y'all see them hanging up what they call today the Latinos? 13 at a time, representing Christ and the apostles. That's why they did 13. And smashing the baby's head against the rock. This is your fabulous Christopher Columbus and his people, conquistadores.
Next one.
Let's go to the next one. More feet burning. Oh, they're burning his whole body.
Yep.
They're burning him alive over there. Look in the background, Deacon Malachi. Can you point to that lady in the back with her hands cut off for not bringing enough gold? Right there. Yes, right there. Yes, right there. Yes. If you did not bring enough gold and diamonds to the conquistador, they cut your hands off.
Or your nose or lips.
Or your nose or lips.
Sent you back home.
Let's go to the next picture for the fabulous Christopher Columbus. Okay.
You have the picture with the pit where they were throwing him in the pit, where there was spears sticking up, where they was impaled on
That's the next one.
Okay.
All right, let's see that one. We need some more reality.
Okay.
Y'all seen 300? Remember that pit they kicked that dude in? The conquistadors was doing that. They was kicking out people in pits, but them pits had knives and spears in there. You see, this is your loving conquistadors, your fabulous Christopher Columbus, who taught you knowledge, language, and when you saw him, you said, "Como está?" You stupid. Do you see what they're doing to us? Let's go to the next one. And they made a holiday that millions of Latinos celebrate that thing.
You talking about a holiday? They get on the float. They on the float.
They on the float, right?
On the float, floating down Fifth Avenue in honor of this demon.
With Hot 97 and
Right, with Hot 90. Angie, what's her name? Angie Martinez, yeah.
La Mega.
La Mega. So you see they got the body parts, they cutting them up. on the table there.
They're feeding them. They're feeding us that.
Feeding. Yeah.
The baby on the fire.
They got a baby on the fire. Thank you. Beside it. These are actual drawings
I was gonna say.
that the Jesuits and the priests did as they were observing the conquistadors.
Y'all ain't heard nothing yet. We used to bring them books in here and read about those read about this stuff. What you're seeing now is like G-rated. You ain't seen nothing else, and you haven't heard nothing. Continue to come. We're gonna start bringing some of that history out again.
Now look at this one. They were feeding the Indian babies to the dogs. The pregnant woman is hung up on the far left. The baby got the umbilical cord around his neck, dead, and
She hung herself.
She hung herself and the baby.
He wanted to baptize the baby while I was dead, so he could be saved. That's
the Jesuit. Thank you. And they're feeding the other babies to the dogs. And y'all got a statue of these people and honoring them, saying "Gracias Dios." Oh man, look at this one. They cut my man's nose off for not bringing enough gold. They're about to chop his hand off. See his wife on the ground with her hands off. The man's running on the far left. He has no hands. No nose either. They cut the nose off and the hands. If you did not bring about the proper weight of gold and diamonds.
Is that real quick also?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, by the way, it wasn't just Columbus. It was Ponce de Leon, Garay, Mendoza, Balboa, Pizarro. All of them followed the same example as this man. They all followed the same example throughout all the islands. Don't think it was just Columbus. They all followed his example. They were all there for the same purpose. They were all of them are devils, every single one of them.
How many of y'all saw that movie 1492?
Stay on that picture right there.
Okay, I'm talking about you new brothers. Have you ever heard of the movie I'm talking about? The Conquest of Paradise? There's a small clip. I said a small clip because it was a pretty long movie. There's a clip in there that illustrates what the elder was bringing out about how they were looking for the gold, the conquistadors that was with Columbus and his entourage of demons. They were looking for the gold, and when they wouldn't tell them where the gold was, either they didn't know where it was, or they wouldn't tell them where it was. That did not satisfy them. They began cutting them up. They put the man's arm on the table and chopped his hand off. In the movie. In the movie.
Leave that picture. And they said the richest of all the islands was Puerto Rico. That's why they gave it that name. Now y'all broke as hell today. With your hand out for welfare and food stamps. Because they robbed you. They robbed you.
Yeah, hold up. Khalil was going to say something real quick. Go ahead.
A lot of cliches. Hold on. A lot of cliches are made up.
Is the mic on? I'm sorry, Abiel.
A lot of cliches are made up off of the tortures. You cut your nose to
spite your face.
Spite your face, right.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Right. See? Abiel?
Puerto Rico right now is in real dire straits. Like they're even telling us not to even travel over there because of the crime. There's high crime out there.
And you got because of the crime. Now you might ask, maybe they're just crazy. Puerto Rico, port of riches, one of the richest of all the Caribbean islands.
You're going where I'm going. Go ahead with it.
They got robbed. They give you welfare. Then they want to know why crime is on the rise. Cause you robbed me. I ain't got nothing no more. Took everything.
Somebody should ask the question: if we are Puerto Ricans, why are we poor? Why are we robbing each other?
Exactly. That's a good point. Now I want y'all to look at this picture. Here. Do y'all see what the Jesuit priest is doing to the Indian brother on a stake? See what he's holding in his hand? He's holding a crucifix. He's making him accept Christianity before he dies. He said, if you accept the white image of Jesus, you'll have a quick and painless death. If you don't, you shall suffer. This is what they did to many of the Indians. That's why a lot of you to this day hold to that Christian demonic religion.
And say no images.
And got idols over your all on your car. Your grandmama got idols everywhere. It all goes back to this. Yes, there's a little.
During that time, it was common knowledge that the natives were Hebrews. And to sway public opinion, what they did was they convinced everybody that we were savages. So they would, these friars would come and then we go back to Spain and talk about the savagery our people were in. And all these images, you see the people naked, and that was because they were already robbed and stripped of everything.
Yep.
And for example, you know, there's books like whatchamacallit, James Adair. What was the other one that you had lent me?
Lost Child.
Not American Holocaust.
Lost Child Homicide.
Vanessa Ben Israel.
Oh yeah.
Where they were trying to fight and say that these people were Hebrews, but in order to justify the conquest, they had to say that they were savages.
Yeah. Right. Do y'all see the king here, King Atahualpa? I believe he was the king of Peru.
Yes.
And if you notice on his garment, he has fringes along the sides, and they have the crucifix over his head, asking him to accept Christianity. He refused.
You haven't told what they said? But they asked him, he said, where do you go if you die? They said heaven. He said, fine, I'll go to hell then. So I don't gotta go where you guys are gonna go. That's what he said right in the stake right there. He said, the hell with y'all, even though he was burning.
Yes, apart.
Yeah, Elder, it's important to note for the Hispanic, so-called Hispanic brothers, that these same people are the same people that we honor, and we call ourselves, are proud to call ourselves Spaniards, or to call ourselves that we proud to speak Spanish. Okay, we were forced to speak Spanish, as a brother brought out. We spoke Hebrew. Okay, which is why in the book Lost Tribes of Promised Land, Columbus brought Hebrew translators with him. Why would he bring Hebrew translators if he didn't know that we spoke Hebrew, that we were the Israelites? So you need to be cognizant of that. Okay, don't be proud of the fact that, because I used to say that, my brother used to say that we're from Spain. That's nonsense. That's total nonsense. That's not who we are.
Yeah, Joshua, stop saying that.
We have the clip for 49.
You got the clip?
Yes.
Let's show it.
There is a third way. By sailing west across the ocean sea.
The distance is unknown. It's said to be infinite.
Superstition. I believe the Indies are no more than 750 leagues west of the Canary Islands.
Can't you be so certain?
The calculations of Toscanelli, Marin de Tir, Esdras.
Esdras is a Jew.
So was Christ.
2 minutes, and already you're a dead man.
For telling the truth?
Yes.
I don't know how many of y'all picked up on what just played over the screen. I'm gonna say a few things. I'm gonna be quiet. I made a statement a couple of weeks ago speaking about what they do in these movies. Okay, they put these movies out here to test, to see where the people's minds are. This was one of them. They actually put in the movie that Columbus knew that there was land away from where he was. And then they asked him, well, how could you be so certain? And he started naming people. And the third person that he named was Esdras in the Bible. So he says, I know that there's land over there because the book of Esdras tells me that. And people sitting up in the theater, they went all past their head, nobody caught nothing. See, because if too many of us would have came out and picked that up, then they would have had to tweak their books once again to dumb you back down. But a lot of people didn't catch that, so they say, okay, they still stupid.
Right. Yeah, man, then you notice the Apocrypha, they take it out. Then why he mentioned Ezra?
That's what he's talking about.
You understand?
And he asked that because he said, why would Ezra, who's a Jew from the Eastern Hemisphere, know about the Western Hemisphere? So he said he was a Jew. He said, so was Christ. That's why he asked that question.
So he based that on 2nd Ezra 13 and 40. Yep. So now let's go back to Genesis 4 and let's start at verse 12 again. I ain't leaving that point. I'm going to ask a question.
Genesis 4, verse 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength.
So now you know why. Under the so-called white man, the earth does not yield its strength. Now you know why they have genetically cloned fruits and vegetables, things of that nature. Go ahead.
A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
So a fugitive, meaning a person who's running from justice, someone who has not paid for their crimes. Here's a question for you. Has Christopher Columbus, the conquistadors, let's say Spain, have they paid for their crimes? No. You're honoring them. You're honoring them. Your mothers are honoring them. Your daughters, your sons are honoring them. They're still fugitives in this earth. Not just Columbus. I just picked him. He's the easiest one. But all so-called white people who have done heinous crimes to the 12 tribes of Israel, none of them have paid for their crimes yet. So what we're reading right here is pertinent for today.
There is one thing that I did notice about that statue that was sitting over there in Santo Domingo, is that at least the birds had enough sense to doodle on it. Doodle all over the statue. So the birds know. The people down there, they be like, oh, he's a great man, but birds say, this piece of, let's doodle on it.